This is story 2. Um, yeah. So, this unit hasn't been very long. We haven't really studied much other than The Voice of the Dawn by Wiseman. And, yeah, we haven't really had many other course materials. Um, I I read about the I read about the culture and the history that Wiseman discusses, but I really do wish it would be taught to us in class, rather than us having to kind of teach it ourselves from a book. At the moment, we're only learning, like in class, about present laws and the present status of Native nations. And while that is undoubtedly important, we aren't learning as much about history. I believe I talked about this in my last story, now that I think about it. Um, and admittedly, maybe this is something I just missed on the course site, but I still feel kind of disappointed, and it makes me wonder, have our discussions about, like, the reliability of oral history been, like, an excuse or an explanation for this? I don't know, but, you know. The only other coursework we have is that relating to our projects. As I said before, we are looking through legal documents. My group specifically, we're looking through stuff like LD 906, which, talks about Passamaquoddy River rights, and we're trying to find other resources relating to that, about that process of gaining those river rights. We found a lot, about how the Passamaquoddy Nation has achieved that goal already, and a good amount about how the Penobscot Nation are still continuing that fight, trying to get those rights like they were promised. In this sense, news articles and academic journals are our coursework as we research. Um, Not all of the stuff we found has been related to just Maine. I found a lot of stuff about the Navajo and their clean water, or their need for clean water. I do find, however, as we do read through The Voice of the Dawn, Wiseman has given me, in a sense, well, actually not in a sense, has given me more appreciation for the rivers and their sacred meaning to the native nations, and not just that a lot of them need this water to survive. It furthers my knowledge or attachment to the issues of the Passamaquoddy and Penobscot nations. This is their culture. It's their land, their rights. They know how to take care of it, and they will if they have the ability, if they have the right. And likely they still are, even without the right, but, you know. And the reactions of the Maine government and the Supreme Court are frankly embarrassing. Just, it seems like they're acting like like both childish and patronizing now. They are completely denying, or the Maine government isn't denying to hear the native people out, but they're completely overlooking that cultural aspect. And I feel that if if the native nations are listened to, if they're well considered, they have they have already their own society, their own meaning, and have always had their own kind of leadership. And I don't see why it's so difficult outside of the childish need for control in these aspects. All right, that's it. good night.